just the
cool
talking
hero,
this, right? But
might have to hold your horses here, Cinderman. Save has to disrupt himself. Blood Right's going to be a little bit too early there.
Well, they are in the same team,
That's
so
true.
it wouldn't have hurt him.
All right. Well, don't worry. I haven't looked at the lineups yet, Cinder, so tell me about them.
Right. So, as far as LGD goes, this time around, I think they have like easier ways of setting themselves up for success. They have the Spirit Breaker stun, they have the Sand King stun, and they have global follow-up. So any way they start the fight, they can really get value out of this, I think. I like the Silencer pick a lot against Phoenix. It's a very classic counter. You last word him. If he tries to dive, he can't break it. He just comes back to you. So it's a good lane counter in that sense. It's also a pretty good hero against Faceless Void, in my opinion. So I think there's definitely options there. As far as VP goes, this time around, I think it's less clear-cut that they just have better late game, because I don't think there's this uncountered PL version hero here. It's a Void, and Void doesn't have the same type of games, I would say. But if you have stuns and you have damage, you can always somewhat solve Void compared to PL. But aside from that, VP are on a lot of comfort heroes. They played a great game last game, so they're definitely warm. They got the Phoenix on Kingslayer once again, save on one of his best in Shadow Demon. And a couple of things that they've done this game. They've actually countered the Spirit Breaker again. I think they really respected what Xiao8 managed to do last game. So they have both Demonic Purge and Rupture against this. And getting Bulldoze removed on Spirit Breaker feels so bad. And they have this reliable way of doing it from range. But it's lane match. It's going to be better.
Yep. And that's kind of what the panel was talking about. The Razor is what dumpstered him. There's going to be a Courier taken out. Wise going to take that for himself. Very nicely done. But they ended up banning that out. So should have a better time here. Of course, they could have still picked some heroes that would... Not that Void Spirit's bad against Spirit Breaker necessarily, but it is melee versus melee. And Spirit Breaker, at the very least, I don't think... I have a hard time believing he'll die in that lane, at least not early on.
And the reason they picked the Void Spirit was because he's a hard target to charge, right? Like, they saw the Spirit Breaker tanking, they're like, okay, they're going to do some Spirit Breaker shenanigans again.
Let's pick the other spell that looks like Doppelganger.
Yes.
Very similar.
Exactly. So again, they picked heroes that are difficult to charge. Shadow Demon, Phoenix, and Void,
Where's OD? I think they forgot about that hero.
I think Ice Frog forgot about OD for a while. And then he remembered
shard is ridiculous.
And then he remembered it, and then he remembered, oh, I hate OD, so here's a useless change. And then he forgot about it again.
Yeah.
So it's great.
But he remembered again with the shard now.
Yeah.
It's quite
seeing a lot of play so far.
People just haven't caught on yet. These pro players, so-called pro players,
honestly,
Faith Beyond,
that's a fair
getting
point.
pressured into the dive, gets the Burrow Strike off, trying to turn this around a little bit. Kingslayer is very healthy, but not after that Illuminate comes through. Either way, First Blood goes the way of Virtus.pro. Kingslayer does eventually die, though.
Yep.
So talk to me about this Coddle offlane we've been seeing now that the channel time on Illuminate's been put to a fixed rate. So
you have a lot more damage faster, especially later on in your skill build. People will start getting a point in Solar Bind for the amp. They start buying different items because it ramps up faster. You farm camps, you push waves. He is positioned for this game, but... Oh my God! Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's how they buffed it. He can kill people now.
This lane is honestly just filthy. Like... It is so strong. And one of Sand King's weaknesses in lane is mana. And guess what? You got that too.
Yeah,
so
very true.
Oh, that was a dirty kill.
Jeez.
GPK is doing a great job just like last game against Xiao8. This time, Xiao8 doing a little bit better on the CS relatively, but he also has an easier matchup. But, oh my God, there's a Caustic too. So they timed that perfectly. They got a Caustic into Illuminate into Sand King stun. Very nice.
Very beautiful. Yeah, that's, I mean, Void's a pretty... I mean, for an agility carry, he's one of the harder ones to kill in lane. As long as you have time walk, you just need so much burst damage. But
that's definitely something Sand King does well. Is what Void doesn't want to do. You don't want to time walk off small amounts of damage, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But every time there's a Caustic kill, you need to decide, is this worth it or not? And usually you say no, and that means over time you get to 60% health, then you get to 50, and then what just happened happens. Has to be careful, and maybe they're going to need to ferry down some extra regen. They do have a decent... Oh, look at that damage on him right now. Nightfall is actually almost dying here. Will use his stick charges to stay alive, gets salved. by Kingslayer, but he's under pressure. He's not having as easy a time in lane as last game.
Yeah, I mean, it's 18-6 CS, though, versus 15-8 for the Gyro. So similar CS from each respective carry. So that's at least one benefit, I guess, or silver lining, I should say, is Faith Beyond now getting chased up here. This might be a kill. Indeed it is, with that last right click from Nightfall. So despite losing this lane, they're coming back, it seems.
Yeah, I don't really think they're losing it, especially not anymore after that kill. I guess you were right beforehand. Coddle was far ahead on net worth against the Phoenix, so yeah, I think you're right. They were ahead, but that's interesting as well. Time dilation against Coddle, right? You have the CDR of Chakra, but they're still locked, so yeah. He couldn't. He tried to give mana to Sand King to give him another spell, but the cooldowns were still like 10 seconds each. Interesting
Top
interaction.
Lane. Looks like Ame is just going to TP out in the face of danger. And Y is left all alone, but he's trying to take out Save in the meantime. Won't have the right-click damage to do so, though. And now Ame is here in a 2v1 versus DM, but the Bloodright is there. Something we didn't mention, although he hasn't gotten it yet. Actually, no, it's from Thirst, I believe, was changed, right? Where it denies to give you half the HP. So that's...
Oh, Illuminate. Oh, ooh, okay.
Didn't quite clip. But that's a big quality of life for Bloodseeker in lane from this last patch.
For sure.
What are your thoughts on Gyro this patch? I mean, we've talked about the Shard before with the Rocket Barrage attached to it, but that's not really something you would probably get as a position 1.
I tried it in a game, and I've seen it.
You were excited.
I was like, this sounds like so much fun, and it kind of sucked. But it was just one game, so you never know. Like, it might have its uses, but it's so conditional, right? It sounds amazing because you just chase them, but it's only in those exact situations where you're chasing and they're not getting hit by the rocket yet that you get your value. So yeah, kind of gimmicky overall. I think Gyro is still good, though. The thing I've noticed about this patch that a lot of the teams are taking advantage of, actually, Ame is taking some serious damage top as well. They might dive him fully here. 4 poison stacks from Save. 1 more would do the kill, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to run away right now.
Nice
Does dodge
step.
1 more Shadow Poison and another. So he'll take the full 4 stacks here. Sand King ends up dying in the bot lane.
Now Save is probably dead.
Yeah, Save. He has done a lot of damage to Ame, so he has to be a bit careful here. Bloodright not going to be able to be there, but Y now just trying to get this kill onto Save. Looks like they'll find it one way or another, but it's going to be a trade of sorts. Although there is a charge coming in from the mid Spirit Breaker. Don't know if we've mentioned that we have a mid Spirit Breaker on our hands, Cinderin.
You're right.
Radiant are scanning.
That's from base, so it'll be quite slow.
Takes a long time to connect here.
Do you agree with the panel in terms of the itemization for Xiao needing to be slightly different?
I don't actually know how good I think BKB is here as an early item. I think I'll disagree with it just because there's still too many problems, right? Like, if you BKB here, you still get Chronoed, you can still get Demonic Purge, you can still get Ruptured. I don't think it solves the inherent problems. I think you should play... It's one of those things, I love to say with glass half full, glass half empty kind of thing, where you could be like, yeah, there's so many things that counter me, but you could also focus on what are the things I can do. I think Shadowblade is incredible this game.
Right.
You're against Void, and both of those heroes just really don't want to get caught off guard. So I think that is a great item. Can debate whether he should buy the full Silver Edge or not. But I think getting early BKB is just not going to give him enough impact.
Wow, that was actually really close.
That was super close from GPK.
Almost finding himself a very, very valuable kill.
Radiant's middle tower
but yeah, still overall, in terms of net worth, relatively even, I suppose, as the stacks are starting to take out here between both Gyro and the Coddle. But GPK trying to counteract this a bit. Hasn't found the big ones quite yet. Looks like the Gyro's...
Oh, he doesn't have to simulate ready.
Xiao 8 gets the charge. Another strike. Not quite there. GPK, Solar Bind is keeping him very slow. Into Roche Pit you go, and he's going to have to get denied. Nicely done from GPK.
Really nice.
Oh, we have 4 charges again on Gyrocopter here.
All downing the corpse.
All right. Looks like he's mega dead, as we're going to have another Faith Beyond death in the bot lane, which is something we did miss earlier, but lots of kills this game. Yep. I mean, this is kind of what you get with a Spirit Breaker game, I feel like. Except last game where you had 0 kills minute 16 with the Spirit Breaker. For them, yeah. But
yeah. Oh, that's true. He gave kills to the other team. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little replay here.
And it sucks for GPK to die, but ultimately he stole away some of their stacks. He takes big rotations, and he dies to Roche. Yeah. So honestly, that is pretty damn good. I'm still going to have a laugh at that. Yeah, it's interesting because you're talking about how countered Spirit Breakers. I thought it would be a really good opportunity to first pick them and then just flex it as a support. Because if you're countering, like, all that
all these picks are being used to be at least okay, if not amazing, against Spirit Breaker. And if it's against support, like, who cares, you know?
Yeah. They must really feel like they're onto something with this Xiao 8 one. Like, again, it's a better Spirit Breaker game than the last one, I think, but it's still not great.
Yeah.
But he's going to find a way. He's going to go Echo Saber again. I think he's going to go for the same build. I think he's going to go Echo Saber, Shadow Blade, maybe full Silver Edge, and then Ags.
Okay.
I would love to see him not by BKB, maybe even at all.
Yeah, not a strong BKB game. I mean, the Disruption's always annoying, but Rupture, obviously, I mean, maybe even Linken's. Linken's could have some value. Disruption
is annoying, but if you have the Shadow Blade, you're going to play on the angle anyway of not getting disrupted. And in case you do, the Disruption is so short with Bulldoze. Like, it's less than a second, I think, when you have Bulldoze maxed out.
Does Lotus cancel charge?
No, you charge toward each other.
No, like, if you're charging, can you cast Lotus on yourself?
If you're charged and then you Lotus?
If you're charging and you Lotus yourself, does it stop charge?
Oh, I see what you mean. I think so, yes.
Okay.
I do think so.
Oh, we're going to have a bash here from Xiao 8 into the charge and a death for Kingslayer. So 4-5, 1K net worth lead right now for PSG.LGD. I think it's looking a lot better than last game, as you alluded to. All the kills in the game combined right now were for VP last game, 9-0 start, I believe. But you got to give LGD credit because that was a game that, like, against any other team for the most part, I feel like that it would just snowball to a 20K, 30K, 40. Like, it would just get completely out of hand.
Yeah.
Where they actually fought back and made it a match.
Interesting to see Xinq's build here, by the way. The triple null has become popular among mid-coddles because it allows you to one-shot a creep wave with max level Illuminate. He does it even as position 4. So really valuing that ability to just shove out an entire wave in one go, and it is very good.
Good attempt there from Faith Beyond. He's going to get off the Epicenter, though, onto GPK, who's going to use
nice
on the other side.
Man.
Why? Just going to be taken out very shortly by these illusions in all likelihood. He's trying to run away. Looks like he will finally fall. So it's a 1-for-1 support for support. There's the Disruption, and now VP completely surrounding Xiao 8, but there's the Burrow Strike from Faith Beyond. And the Rupture into a Chronosphere, not the greatest combo in the world, but Nightfall's going to, at the very least, try to get Faith Beyond, and he does so. And away Xiao 8 goes. I'm not sure who was ruptured there, but...
I think they ruptured the Sand King. So, yeah, they didn't get that much value out of it when they chronoed him right after, but it still does a little bit of impact damage now, the Rupture.
True.
How much is it? 10%?
I believe this is the third reiteration of Rupture now.
Yep.
In the history of Dota.
So just another 15, and then it's OD in the last year.
That's true. Except
we'll get there.
Bloodseeker's never been a complicated here. I would say OD has been a complicated. I mean, reading his previous shard was complicated to think about. When would that be useful? And Valve's like, good point. Let's put something brand new. Let's allow you to move with Astral Imprisonment. Goodness gracious. Why are we talking about OD so much?
We're done
Stop
talking about
bringing him up,
I guess.
please.
Xinq, he will get
trouble. And Disruption, just enough vision there to get it off. And Bloodright's following, though. Okay.
He is not
He's
dying.
actually fine.
They didn't have Rupture, so
yeah.
He's like, whatever, gets out of there.
It just came up now, looks like.
Xinq going for...
All right, Smoke while Xiao is already charging here. Gets off that Bulldoze. Save is going to get charged into the Nether Strike and brought down quite easily. Now DM is in a lot of trouble. Last words there.
Solar Bind gets silenced.
Yeah, he is mega dead. There are some reinforcements on the other side now. They're actually going to just let him die here. No big surprise there. As we do see Echo Saber again. All right, what are your thoughts? I mean, we kind of talked about this as a meme build, but obviously if he's doing it 2 games in a row, Echo Saber on Spirit Breaker. I mean, it theoretically makes sense.
That's strong. For core Spirit Breaker, I don't think it's a meme build. I think if you're a core Spirit Breaker and you want to deal damage, you need to get your bashes out, and this gives you another free roll of the dice.
I call it a meme build because anytime I build it, you call it a meme build.
That's because when you build items, it's a meme build.
I see. Okay, so it's me.
I don't know. I've never played with your Spirit Breaker before, and I hope I never will.
Okay.
So we'll keep it a meme build.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Played with your lifesteal the other day. Don't play core with me ever again.
Yep.
Yep.
No comment on that. Xiao 8. Looks like he's going to get... Okay, that's the global silence coming out, but the Yule's canceling the TP, so Xiao 8 just left to fend for himself here. Aether Remnant, and Just too much.
Yeah. That's a lot of gold. 370 for that. He had a 3 kill streak. So GPK gets 370, and then there's also the AoE gold on top for his teammates. So nicely done. So something I was just thinking now, right? In the last game, there was this Phantom Lancer, and he had a really free game and was amazing in the game. What I think part of the reasoning LGD likes the Spirit Breaker first pick is 2 things. First of all, I think it's good against Caudle, which is becoming a very popular first phase pick for the teams, because you see him anywhere, you just charge him, and you have that info, and you can get on top of him, you can solo kill him a lot of the time. The second thing is, if you're creating this much chaos with this mid here, and he's constantly just forcing and fighting the enemy team, guess who's having a blast? It's Ame. He's just...
Yep.
He's been totally uncontested because Xiao8 is just an attention sponge in this game. Everything is about where's Spirit Breaker going, what's he doing next, and he does it while finding farm.
They're going to run right into him, though. Caster Curse is real. And this is going to be way too much damage to withstand for Ame.
Xiao8 didn't make a move in 20 seconds, and there you go. Then they found someone else.
Oh, Burrow Strike not going to Shadow Demon. His Y is in the vicinity as well, so he's going to get some int out of this at the very least.
Nope.
Blood right, though. Onto a couple. Looks like it'll connect. And another death here. So it's a 1-for-1 in this little engagement here, but the egg is going to be popped. Oh, no chrono quite yet. Faithbeyond trying to get off the epicenter. Will do so. Nightfall now on the run, but the stun is there from Kingslayer's egg. And down goes Faith Beyond. 3-for-1 as they continue to try to take out the Void. Xiao8.
I'm surprised he didn't try for the ult there.
And well, Kingslayer now left to fend for himself as Jin Q will just get the casual right click into death.
Nice ult to secure the tower here from GVK, and then he turns into Little Piggy.
Piggy, Piggy, Piggy.
What do you think about that spell name, Pigging Out?
It's great.
Okay.
It should have I hope the lore is about like him eating like a bunch of bacon or something.
That would be cannibalism.
That's true. You're eating yourself in that case. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I want to promote that.
Can run faster if you weigh less, so
sure.
You just take off a little bit of your weight
I'm told.
by eating it.
All right, we have an impact move with the pig pole here. Nice fuel, like you said, and pig pole now. There we go.
That's what I call impact.
Beautiful.
Impigged.
Impigged pole.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
Good.
We've had this conversation before that sometimes I make a bad joke on purpose. And then a lot of the time people think I think it's really funny. And then it's just really awkward because I thought it was really funny.
I just know you too well. So we have a global silence. Look like it for the bot lane, but nothing's going to come of it. Oh,
Xiao8.
Take that back as Xiao8 attempting to charge in the top
See you later, nerds.
Yep.
Oh, wait. See you now. He canceled it. Well, they're going to turn it around maybe. Want to mention Xinqiu's build. He almost has an item we haven't seen on Caudle this tournament, I think. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter, so we'll get the Ignis Fatuous.
Ignis Fatus back at it again. Xiao8's going to get successful charge. Not going to end up going for the Nether Strike, though, as Nightfall. Okay.
Look at Corona.
That walks a lot of that damage. Yeah, he's super dead. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, man, action all over the place. Faith Beyond in a 1v2 will not be getting out of this alive. And now Ame still in the jungle, despite having...
Oh, this Illuminate's going to hurt.
Kind of numbers. Yeah. You could just see death coming from a mile away. Yeah. Nothing you can do.
The last word procced, I think, so he got silence. He had already dove, right? Yeah, he didn't have dove. But he could have supernova to survive, technically. But yeah. Caudle is a hero right now. Very, very strong hero in Dota. Now he's got the Ignis, so just to recount this spell, we haven't seen it all tournament, I think. 6 hits. And the radius is 725.
Just a quick question. Is it actually still called Ignis Fatus, or is that a reference to Dota 1?
It says summons Ignis Fatuous at the targeted area.
Oh, it actually does. I do remember when his old ult was, he spawned an orb, right?
Yeah, and then that orb would make little soldiers.
Right, and that orb was actually called Ignis Fatus.
Yep, it was.
Good Dota lore. Good Dota trivia.
Absolutely.
All right, well,
I'm trying to think why he's choosing this, right? It's one thing to buy Ags, which was kind of common for support calls in the past, but considering how farmed he was, he could have gone Dagon 5, he could have gone a Dagon Veil, he could have got Boots of Travel, and, you know, done almost a mid-call. Like, look at his farm.
Yeah.
He has 7.6k net worth as position 4.
Yeah.
So he definitely had plenty of options. I'm trying to think, what is the reason for getting this? Do they want to try to contain people in Ame's reach? Does it have some sort of interaction with Spirit Breaker, or is it just... I mean, it's obviously feel good, right? You have a lot of AoE spells, Global, Epicenter, all of Gyro's damage. So maybe you're just trying to contain the fight in an area, and that's it. And there's not much more to it.
VP has a ton of AoE, right? So they want to fight, and they're forcing you to fight in AoE.
Right.
Like
so you like
Chrono and Rupture and whatnot.
you just match.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, you're right though. Dagon has kind of been the build, right? That's been the meme that turned out to be actually quite effective.
I'm thinking especially your position 4. If you have this level of farm and you can start almost one-shotting cores, that's incredible for a 4 to do.
That reminds me of AUI back in the day. You'd be in the jungle illuminating creeps.
Yep.
Back in the TI5 days. Just come out in the jungle with a million like top net worth.
Yeah. Close game again, though.
Speaking of top net worth, we're going to hold that thought. Xiao Wei gets a successful charge with the Nether Strike to follow. Global Silence on top of it with Ignis Fatus.
Okay.
That's a lot
There you go.
for a Bloodseeker.
Yeah, so they had to read that Shadow Demon was behind, so they Global Silence to prevent disruption. But with our vision, that was obviously a waste. Like, yeah, he could have been disrupted, then it would just killed him after, right? There was no backup coming in. But with the information available to PSG.LGD, that seemed like a reasonable choice. Now Shadow Blade's complete, going into the Silver Edge and the Nags. Same build, same strategy from Xiao Wei.
Uh-oh. Charge.
Missile.
Assembly's already been used. Xiao Wei is
fast.
Hidden in the cover of Shadow Blade, actually cancels it there.
Yep.
Not wanting to commit. But looking at the farm discrepancy between the two position ones, pretty close between Nightfall and Ame. Right now, working on an S&Y for Nightfall. He already has the Maelstrom Echo Saber. And for Mr. Eurocopter, does have the Ags, along with the Dragon Lance and Morbid Mass for now. He's actually going Sange. So I assume S&Y, but typically you just get the Yash. Oh wait, he's going BKB now. Never mind. All right, he switched it up.
To see the Kaya-Sanj for GPK, though. Okay. Almost completed. Has the Yules, he has to buy that against Silencer. So not really much of a choice there. That's just mandatory in this game, pretty much. It was either that or BKB. And it's going to get Kaya-Sanj for the value. Mono region damage, status resist against all these stuns.
Yeah.
Kaya-Sanj still doesn't buy you enough status resist that you can stop charge into Nether Strike. So that is still going to be something he has to deal with. And it's going to come out of Invis. So save really needs to... It's honestly pretty challenging to play Shadow Demon in this game. You need to protect the right heroes at the right time. You never know when Spirit Breaker is going to strike. You're going to go in for Gyro.
Jungle, yep. Chronosphere onto 2. Ignis Fatus on the side. Can they get this kill before he gets this lifesteal? It's only a Morbid Mass. He's stuck in place thanks to the Rupture. That's a lot of lifesteal thanks to the Agnum Scepter. But they should be able to blow him up. But it's going to be a 1-for-1 for the position ones. But VP are falling big time. 3-for-1 now is a 5K net worth lead for PSG.LGD. This is going to be a full team wipe. That did not go as planned for VP.
The counterplay of LGD is just so strong. Yeah, you get this Chrono, but the immediate Ignis just keeps pulling Void away in the Chrono. The Blinding Light especially just ruins him. And when all of their heroes come back in and connect, and Gyro gets to... Yeah, they killed the Gyro. Look at the damage breakdown. He did more damage than any hero in that fight, even though he died. Yeah. He's got everything out before he died, and it's just easy cleanup crew for the boys. Just coming in and grabbing everything. And Xiao Wei... Actually not going to get the tower. Went to Sand King. Silver Edge complete. He is almost the same net worth as the enemy carry on his mid Spirit Breaker.
It's going much better now that there's not a Razor in the game.
Yes.
And I believe Viper was banned as well. So.
And the Faceless Void matchup is also a lot better than the PL.
Yeah.
It's someone you easier connect on. And there's the Ignis just pulling him out. The Blinding Light.
Yeah, very annoying
gets off everything. Now they finally connect in with the Sunray and GPK, which is what eventually nets them the kill, but they've just dropped literally everything for this. And that Global Silence is going to allow them to kill the egg.
Yeah,
and then clean up.
It's going to be hard for Nightfall to fight without a BKB, I feel like. I assume that's what he's building next? Yeah. So that is next on the plate for Mr. Faceless Void. I mean, do you think Void is... Oh, we're going to see Faith Beyond taken out here with that charge poison.
He might connect this and go. He has ult.
Yep, he's going for it with the Shadow Blade. Gets the bash as well, but there's a disruption to cancel the Nether Strike. And GPK
Look how short
out
that
of the AoE
was.
of the Ignis Fatus.
Oh my goodness.
Like he's fine.
Yep.
Everyone's getting out.
Hey, so Xiao Wei, he really wants to get off the Silver Edge hit after the charge. But if you do that onto Sanchiro, then you don't have time. he has to instantly ult after it connects, and that means you will forfeit your bonus damage from the Silver Edge. But if you don't, you're letting him out.
So with that in mind, like, what are you looking to break anything? Because I'm questioning why you need to go for Silver Edge and not just keep it as a Shadow Blade. Does it last longer? I can't even remember. It might be a couple seconds longer, but
it's also just a feels good item with all the damage, right?
it is.
It gives him way more of a chance at solo killing heroes because of that backstab damage. As long as it's not on the, we're gonna see it here. Haha, not.
Next, but Glimmer Cape saves him. No counter for that. Of course.
You were going to see it if you didn't have Glimmer. How much damage that Silver Edge hit would have.
Look at that damage.
And then once you get that hit off, it's not just one hit, right? Your Silver Edge hit is a double hit because you have the Echo Saber component as well, and then you ult. So, yeah, I think upgrading it is really, really good value for Spirit Breaker.
Okay.
The critical strike damage. Think about how you play SB in a lot of situations where it's like, oh, I wish I had a bit more damage, or you're always relying on your teammates to finish the kill. You just have so much more to give when you have that guaranteed critical backstab damage as well. That he can solo kill Shadow Demon, for example, from full HP.
Yeah.
Just kills him out of one charge.
Yeah, LGD looking very good in this game. 6K net worth lead. They are smoked up. Satanic getting very close for Ame. And I assume if they get a kill here, they'll just go straight into the Roche pit. But for now, they're just going to farm the Ancients of VP. I mean, Zhao Wade is scary. Like, you see him on the map, but he can be anywhere, right? He has a lot of global presence. Starting to see the value out of this Spirit Breaker. As they're just going to go for Roche the old-fashioned way. Just walk in there. Good to go. You can see the heat map for Spirit Breaker. That's awesome. It's been all over the place. And looks like this will be uncontested. They're going to smoke up.
They want to do it, but they're too late. Aegis for Gyro.
And Zhao Wade's only a couple K away from finishing the Aghanim Scepter for himself.
Damn, he beat the record of Silver Edge, which was set by himself last game.
Wow. Incredible. I'm assuming that's just this patch.
I think I also said that.
Very well played, Zhao Wade. You've broken your own record. If they end up winning Game 3, we have to congratulate him on breaking his own record.
Yeah.
Especially if he picks it a third time and does it again.
That's true.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it would be pretty impressive to beat the record of this game, because he's having a really good game.
Yeah.
Illuminate is such an incredible spell right now. It's like,
yeah, it's maybe a little too good, in my opinion.
You channel for 3 seconds and you just kill an entire creep wave with 3 nulls.
As a 4.
Yeah, as anything. You could get, like, you will easily get 3 nulls on any roll if you want.
Yeah.
So.
Are you saying nulls are too good?
They might be too good, but they also just line up perfectly with this hero.
All right. He's going to have to pop that Will-O-Wisp, but here comes Zhao Wade. Global silence to follow. Just focusing on poor Bloodseeker. DM takes another tumble. Save. Able to TP out, though. A small saving grace here for VP, but this, yeah, with that charge talent coming to fruition and only 1,000 away, basically, from finishing Ags, Zhao Wade is, I mean, his role is to disrupt, and when you get this kind of farm, it's pretty scary stuff.
He kills too. It's not just a stunner. That's the old way of thinking about Spirit Breaker. This guy's an assassin. He's actually just killing heroes.
That's true.
Disruption is obviously a big part of it, but he needs very little help to even kill cores at this point with how strong he is. Charge on Shadow Demon.
Charge, but they see him with that
reaction.
Sentry. Yep, and Nightfall now trying to pursue. We see the Lotus double Yule Scepter. Zhao Wade looks to be just fine. Faithbeyond actually uses Epicenter there. There's a Chronosphere onto 2. They really want that Coddle. Can they take him out? It looks like that's going to be a resounding yes with the Egg to help out to end up getting another CC here for Mr. Sand King. So a nice start to this fight for VP. Now Ame's going to take the brunt of the damage here. He has to stand and fight as Zhao Wade, like you said, just a one-man army, but he is getting bursted down with Nightfall's right click. She's doing so much.
Really
Ame
nice.
does get out with that Aegis, but a resounding fight win there for VP.
That was their best fight of the whole game. They did so many things right. The Chrono Supernova layer is one thing, but the way the egg was placed was right outside the Chrono on the left side, and all of VP's heroes that had a chance of hitting the egg were stuck on the right, so they can't really get in. Just the way things started out. The Shadow Demon disruption, super clutch with how fast he was. It might look easy, but that Spirit Breaker comes in really fast.
Yeah.
So he has to react very quickly and get that disruption out to even set that up to begin with. And a nice punish.
But Ame did live. That is a
he didn't lose Aegis.
silver lining for sure for LGD.
Gonna see it here. Very quick disruption, and then
A pretty fast Aether Remnant too.
yeah, this Yule is basically what makes the play possible. It removes Bulldoze and they just stay on top of him, and then this Chrono gets enabled as a result, and that egg is just absolutely perfect.
God tier positioning for sure.
The best possible egg for Phoenix is inside the Chrono, right? It's where you cast it and then you Chrono on top. But when the Chrono comes out first, this is as good as it's going to get. You have it right nearby, so it does as much damage as possible to these heroes on the outskirts. And at the same time, it was not targetable by LGD's heroes in the positions they were in.
Yeah.
That was basically all of LGD's lead gone. That one fight. They were up 8K.
Yep.
Now it's
essentially even. Absolutely. So let's get back
What
on
an
track here,
insane
Cinderman.
swing.
We have some items to talk about for each, well, for VP mostly, since they just won that huge team fight. Why don't you talk about Aghanim Scepter was picked up, though. That's a big one for GPK. So you're going to have the double Resonant Pulse with the Silence attached.
Yep.
And, I mean, what kind of dispels, other than the BKBs, do they have? Obviously, the Bulldoze, if it's activated first, is a great counter, but
he can remove it with Yule. Right, so he can force
Yeah.
his silences to have impact on Spirit Breaker. And they also have Demonic Purge, of course.
Ags actually picked up on Silencer.
Save just grabbed a full Lotus as well. So he has a bigger chance of surviving and making some clutch counterplays. LGD with the smoke. Not going to find anything. VP are aware, based on the map positionings, that this is a scary area. They're going to even send out a courier here from Void.
Will they snipe it or will they bait it?
And the Silencer Eggs, I guess we should mention as well. Last word AoE. Very powerful.
All he has to do is hit 25 now and he can mute AoE, mute items.
Yeah, that is a
Big if.
A very interesting talent indeed.
It's, in theory, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you still have to buy it on Silencer. You have to get there at level 25.
Yeah, you need to get level 10.
You never know.
Even just the AoE last word in general is also really powerful.
Oh, Ame just running right in. Here comes the BKB and the Chronosphere. Global Silence to follow. My goodness. They just deleted Ame. It was a 1v1. Well, 1v0 really, because he couldn't move.
It really was a 2v0 because Nightfall had double damage. So.
Okay. 2v0.
And a Phoenix Egg.
3v0. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah. You usually win those.
I guess. I don't know if we have a big sample size for that, but no, sounds about right.
Yeah, VP have really found themselves a nice comeback here. I love how they took initiative there. They get the DD. They don't feel scared. They're prepared for this move to happen from LGD and just immediately just get that one-man Chrono out. And the Global Silence can't save him with the double damage running. Hex available for Caudle here. We'll use it and run away. Epi.
Will it be enough, though? Yep, Epicenter with the Bro Strike. But
nice
Lotus.
Lotus.
Lotus Orb applied. My goodness. Faith Beyond was not expecting that. Aether Remnant will connect yet again, and Faith Beyond will likely take a fall here with Jinku to follow. So just like that, it's very close to a team wipe. Kind of separated a bit without the Silencer, though.
VP have played so well in the last few minutes. It's really, really impressive. They're going to grab top tier 2 as well. So Nightfall, in the meantime, wasn't even there. He's just pushing the wave and making the gank list easy to read. And now he's probably going to either stay up here or transition into mid tier 2. They do have a wave here with Shadow Demon. And the Lotus from Save there, absolutely godly.
Yep. And the tier 2 tower going to take heavy damage here.
It's falling.
Well, I'm still correct. It's taking heavy damage.
Yep.
And
Taking
then will
heavy
eventually
damage.
fall. That's kind of how it goes. You know?
It's falling. I'm correct.
Okay. Looks like Shadow Demon's building, trying to go for a shard, by the way. That's pretty cool. So Demonic Purge can be cast on allies, which dispels them and heals. Pretty cool.
What does he want to dispel with this?
Solar Bind.
Solar Bind, last word.
I mean, he can dispel Global Silence because he can just Lotus himself, right, first.
True. Yeah, he can dispel Global on an ally. Yeah. Which is really good for Phoenix, I guess.
Right. I don't know if he's going to get an Ags this game, but obviously quite a ways away as a support, but that would be the ultimate combo.
Yep. Yeah, I like the sound of this shard in this game. I think it's pretty good.
Well, Ame has a crit stick, just the Crystallis right now, and going for a Okay, so he's going Mjolnir with just a casual Chrysalis. Is that right? Or something coming on the Courier? That's interesting. Nothing's coming. So just a casual Chrysalis. I don't know if I've seen that. Oh, that's a nice chrono. On to 2 with the Sunray there. 2 supports dead in the blink of an eye.
I guess Sand King is basically a support this game.
That's true, I forgot.
He has less net worth than the Caudle still, so they're kind of rating him as a 4.
I mean,
but it was the Caudle who's kind of a 3, so.
I mean, Sand King as a 3, it feels like he doesn't really end up farming that much a lot of the time anyway.
That's
right?
true.
And this is actually a really good game to have at position 3 Sand King because the 4 can end up taking the farm, right?
Yeah.
I like that. But VP have just really turned this game around. 5K net worth lead now as Zhao8 working on a BKB for himself. Oh, GBK pinging. They have
Silver Edge ran out. They see him.
Oh, very awkward moment there as they both looked each other in the eye.
Oh.
And Zhao8 gets decimated. Looks like Dagon is next for GPK. That should be interesting.
Soul Catcher is just so disgusting sometimes. Like,
okay, it was the Daedalus. Okay.
the amount of damage Shadow Demon does in a move like that is just absurd, right? That Soul Catcher deals more damage than Finger of Death.
I believe it.
To use it on a full HP Spirit Breaker, it did 1,000 pure damage, like basically right away.
And that's going to combo real nicely with the Dagon.
I love that the damage breakdown says 52 because it isn't considered damage. It's just
like HP removal.
Yeah, right? it's HP. It's borrowing. It gives it back, but what would you call that? If you borrow something from someone but you don't own it and then you give it back, you know what I mean?
You borrow it.
Yeah, but you don't have it either. It just disappears temporarily and then they get it back.
This sounds like a really weird question that I don't really want to think about during a cast of Dota right now.
That's what it's like casting with you every game. You ask me those questions every time, so now it's my turn.
That's not true. I asked you legitimate questions that are interesting.
Okay.
That was not interesting at all.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
I bet there's a word for that. He'll come up
Why
with
don't you just make one up? How about that, Synderen?
So if it's no, I was going to go with blending because it's like borrowing and lending, but that's kind of the same thing.
Sure, whatever you want, buddy. All right, so Nightfall.
He got blended.
All right, he got blended real good. So Nightfall has the Daedalus now, Aegis, and Shard. So his Time Walk is a ridiculous range. And he has the little reverse Time Walk action if he wants to use it.
And backtrack, which is nice against Caudle.
Indeed. Has a Lotus Orb replied, so Zhao...
Oh my
God.
What?
Faith Beyond is no longer here.
Yep.
Ignis Fatus was used as well, and they can just wait it out and continue to go high ground. Man, that was a deletion like I've never seen. Nightfall. It's going to get Hex. Here comes the egg, though. The buyback onto the Sand King now is, the Chronosphere on top of the egg. Gyrocopter taking a beating. Do they have enough damage to actually take him out before? Yes. No BKB for you. 84 seconds on the deck. No buyback for Ame at all. We do get the Shadow Demon and the Aegis to boot, but Nightfall is just going to continue on its rampage here. Ignis Fatus is somehow up again. What is the cooldown of this freaking spell? Nightfall doesn't care. We'll reverse Time Walk back and start hitting some buildings.
Well, the cooldown is 60, but you can refresh it with...
Oh my god.
Okay.
Double kill Nightfall. He is online, I do believe. Level 26. Looking pretty good, it seems. GPK. Looks like he'll get a nice Aether Remnant there, pushing Jin Q out of the fountain. I didn't even know you could do that. That's hilarious. And they're going to get the top racks as a result of not having anybody to face right now and absolutely no buyback. It's not very often you see like no buybacks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And this is going to be at least 2 lanes.
What is GPK doing? He's just setting up Aether Remnants. What is this? Hit the buildings with your team. Oh, he's buying Dagon. Okay. He's
so
buying time to buy Dagon. Yeah. I feel like if you buy items from the enemy shop, it should be buffed in some fashion, you know? Like...
Yeah, that would be another nerf to Fountain. You would love that.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of counterintuitive. Either way, 2 barracks now, 2 set of racks, I should say, for VP. They're just going to back up and just go back to farming. And you can see they're very thrilled about this potential Game 2 victory over PSG.LGD. Of course, for those that haven't been keeping up, PSG.LGD is working with Zhao8 as a stand-in, and he is picking Spirit Breaker mid every single game. Has not
He's also thrilled.
Honestly, it's looked pretty good, though. I can definitely see what they're going for.
I can, too. I mean, they were in a good position in this game. They just got outplayed. Like, VP have just taken a couple of incredibly good team fights.
Right. Xiao8. All right. Global Silence is there. Gets off the Nether Strike, but it's not enough to kill Kingslayer. Gets off the Lotus Orb now as Nightfall just continuing on. He's just going to beat down Xiao8 quite easily. Now a Rupture onto Ame. He is BKB'd, has to stand his ground. The Satanic is keeping him alive for quite a while, but the Chronosphere is there, and it's just too much to deal with. Faith Beyond does end up getting the Epicenter off, but looks like the GGs are called as VP take this 2-0. It looked like LGD were on their way to a Game 2 victory, but like you said, VP just turned it on, felt like.